Hey, everybody, it's John, your 60-year-old Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10ish-minute review. That's right. It's past my birthday. I'm now officially 60 years old. I don't look a day over 59. I really appreciate that from the fans. Yeah, we had a great party this past weekend. A lot of people. Ralph came up for it. He even made a little video of the party. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it for you guys to see. Maybe a clip of it or something. I'll put that in a short. He really did a nice job on it, but it was a great party. I'm still recovering because it was a crazy weekend. But I didn't want to forget you guys. So, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody knows, based on the last review I did, Gully Boy, I mentioned the movie Circus. And it was just a trailer that showed up on my Netflix queue. And I took a look at it. It really looked visually kind of interesting. So I brought that up, and you have made your voices heard. I will not be watching that film. Everyone wants me to watch 12th Fail. A couple of people have brought that up. I'm trying to figure out a way for me to watch it. It's available on Disney Plus, Hotspot, or it's an Indian version of it. So, and I have Disney Plus. I'm trying to figure out a way to watch that. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to watch Circus. So there you go. So the film I'm going to review today, a 10ish-minute review, is Animal, which is a recent release. It came out in 2023, and I'm going to try to do this a little bit different. One of the viewers brought up a suggestion to try to make the show a little bit tighter, and even suggest I watch someone else's review, which I did, which I liked. And I do have a tendency to spend a lot of time telling the story of the film, and that's really not what you're supposed to do in a review. I just kind of enjoy it because I pull the clips and I edit it, but I'm going to try to make this a little more succinct. I don't know if this was the best film to start with, because Animal have even when I read the reviews on it, it's either a masterpiece or people hate this film. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this film. Because people kept, before I watched it, people kept talking about the misogyny of the movie, the violence of the movie, and it is violent, like more violent. This is, if not the, pretty close to the most violent Indian movie I've seen. That doesn't bother me. I mean, but some of it I did find a little excessive. Um, and the misogyny, like the slapping around of the women. I mean, I've seen a lot of Indian films where that happens. So I didn't think that, I didn't see it that way. In fact, I would say that the two lead women in this film were empowered. And yeah, they got slapped around a little bit, but in the end, they were actually the strong characters. So I didn't really see it that way. Um, so so let's give you a little background. It was directed by Sandeep, Reddy, Vanga. It stars Ranbir Kapoor, who I've seen in a couple of things, and he was in one of my favorite Indian films, Barfi. I absolutely loved him in that film, and this is like phew, opposite end of the spectrum from that. Anil Kapoor, who is in the Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Bobby Deol, 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 Rashmika Mandanna, who was in Sita, Raman, and Prithviraj. Okay, so the story. We'll start with that. I'm going to start with the story. The story was all over the place, and there were things I liked about the story, but it was a little too confusing. They didn't really like, they started off with a a older character, his character, um, 100th birthday, and he's talking about his past, and they never really addressed that again to wrap it up. So I thought that was kind of I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then they do the flashback and show him as a kid, but it was kind of I didn't like that. Um, I mean, this is really I mean, the whole movie is about revenge, right? It's about his relationship with his father, which is not good, played by Anil Kapoor. Um, but he's also from a young boy. He's kind of a nut job. I mean, his sister gets bullied. He grabs a gun, brings it into the school, and lets off a round. Now people were very upset about that because of school shootings, and I kind of get that, but that wasn't what I thought. I was just like, wow, this guy's crazy. This guy's going to be animal, obviously, right? Apex predator. So that was to show how animalistic he is. And the other thing that kind of no, I guess I'll wait for that because I want to break this down by story, acting, music, and then overall. So so the whole movie is him trying to one get in good graces with his father, which isn't happening. Two, there's an attempted murder on the father, and he wants revenge, but you never know who's behind the murdering of the father. There are hints, but it's not real. There's not a lot of time spent on it. And when the reveal shows up at the end, you're like, well, where did that come from? And they'll this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie, you probably don't want to watch this. But at one point, well, so the love story was kind of cute. And I'll say this about the love story too. This was one of the most sexual movies I've seen of an Indian film. They have sex on an airplane. He has sex while he's married to another girl. A lot of kissing, which I mean, here that's no big deal, but in Indian films, it's a big deal. So I'm sure that stirred some people the wrong way. But that relationship, I actually liked. I liked the relationship between him and his wife, although it went in a not a good direction. Um, and in the revenge thing, I only liked it because there were scenes because he's so single of purpose. And to me, the best action scene in the movie is when he gets this golf cart with these machine guns on it. That scene I loved. I mean, it was completely ridiculous because I don't know how many bad guys there were, or I don't even know if you call them bad guys. The ones that were trying to kill him, he's going to kill all of them. I really liked that scene. That reminded me of John Wick. Um, and it was that prop and they actually built this prop. It wasn't CGI. It was really cool. And he was good in that scene, but he's also taking all kinds of blows and stuff, which comes back because now he needs a heart transplant. So for me, the story was just it was scenes tied together by a thin plot. But the big reveal is his his long lost brother. I'm not even sure who the guy was, but there's a big fight scene at the end on the tarmac, and this is someone he's related to. And it's a good fight. It's mono money. They take their shirts off. They're in the middle of the room where they're smoking cigarettes while they're fighting. I kind of like that. And then he got the better of the other guy and gave him a chance, and the guy didn't want it, and he ends up killing him. And takes a knife, goes right across the neck. But it was a good fight. It was a back and forth. It wasn't he just wiped the guy out. And then they do this thing in the closing credits, which his because they mentioned a younger brother who idolized the older brother of the guys that were trying to kill his father and him, Animal. And it ends up the younger brother has plastic surgery to look like Vijay, is that how I pronounce it? Ron Vijay. Ron Vijay. And it's played by Ranbir Kapoor. And that scene was like he's got two guys from Ron Vijay's gang, and he just butchers them because that's the other thing that was leaked, that this person is a butcher. Well, he butchers the last two people, and there's blood everywhere, apparently setting up the sequel. So that, but again, I didn't. It was hard to follow. So I got to tell you, the story, I mean, if we're going the Ledoux, I'd probably say one Ledoux because it the story didn't work for me because it was all over the place. The acting, I actually thought the performances were good. I thought he was really good. Because they showed him on all these different phases, and the funny thing was, he had a beard, he didn't have a beard, he had long hair, he had short hair, and whatever his facial hair and hair was like, his personality changed. But so I did enjoy his performance. It was also so different from Barfi, obviously Barfi. And Anil Kapoor, he was good, but he didn't have much to do in this film. I think the best performances were, I thought the woman who played his wife, I thought was really good because she had a lot of story arc throughout the movie, and the girl who played the mole, the spy, I thought she was good too. Once it was revealed that she was a mole, and she was actually playing the long con, not just to have him fall in love, but that so she I thought she was good too. But obviously a film like this, he is the draw, and I felt he was really good. I enjoyed it, even though I didn't enjoy the story. I enjoyed watching his performance again because it was so different. Also, the guys that was in his gang, there was humor there, and they had a good camaraderie. I like that. So overall, the performances, I mean, because of him, I'd probably give the performances three Ledoux, maybe give him a little bit more. I like the music, very modern music, very driving music. Again, reminded me of John Wick, that type of action, the 100 against one, but just driving, fast paced, always moving. So I like the music too. I didn't find it distracting. It kind of fit the movie. Um, and overall, I have to. I guess I'd give it a three Ledoux. Um, it wasn't nearly as bad as some of the reviews I read, because some people were just they hate this movie, and I didn't hate it. I did think it was long. Sometimes when you watch these movies, the time goes by really fast. This one dragged in certain places. Motivations of people I didn't quite understand. But um, I understand why some people liked it, because obviously I read some stuff about the director that he made a point to make a movie that people were going to be a little disturbed by. But some of the other complaints about the film, I didn't pick up on that. It didn't bother me like that. I was just looking at this. I really like this actor. I like the action in these type of films. Um, but yeah, overall, three Ledoux. So that's a pretty short and sweet um, review. And who knows, maybe more people will watch rather than my storytelling. But yeah, that's what I thought about it. So you guys have given me some great suggestions. I still have a few films left. In fact, let me read you my list. I don't know which one I'm going to watch, but I still got to watch Ugly, and Payasa, which is a 1957 Indian film, and Raman Raghav 2.0. Those are the only three I have left from the viewer wheel. So if you guys have other suggestions, like people keep bringing up 12th Fail, I'd love to see that. Also, oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Um, um, Superstar Rajni, Superstar Rajni. I was mispronouncing his name because when I wrote out my notes, I misspelled it. So I was calling him Ranji, not Rajni. And that's my bad. I apologize for that. I know I do that every now and then, but um, I really liked that actor, and I loved Jailer. I mean, I liked Robot, but it was okay. I found it kind of silly. I'd like to see, and some of you have given me some recommendations for real good stuff with him in it. I wouldn't mind seeing more of that. I find him to be an interesting actor. And I'm gonna try to pick a Amir Khan film too because I haven't seen one in a while. And on the big show, we're gonna watch My Name Is Khan, so I'm gonna see a little Shah Rukh Khan too. So anyway, I hope this was more succinct and less storytelling. And let me know in the comment sections what you prefer. Because listen, if I have a small loyal following, I don't care. I'll do whatever you want. Okay, but if I can get some more hits by, maybe being a little more succinct with reviews, I'll do it. But again, this film, a lot of hatred towards it. I didn't feel that way. I wasn't, I'm disgusted by it. It's misogynistic. I mean, people are really trashing it. Um, I didn't think it was any more than some of the other movies I've seen. And I felt the women were really strong characters, ultimately made tough choices and outshined the men a little bit. So I don't know if that's really misogynistic. But anyway, that's my 10-ish minute review. I'm not sure what I'm going to watch next, but keep an eye out for it. I really appreciate you guys watching, especially now that I'm 60, now that I'm in my golden years. It's fun to do these and it's fun to go back and forth with you guys. So I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon.